Hi, my name is Daniel Parker. I'm an assistant director at the Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction on the special education team. I'm really excited to be here today to talk about One State's journey, Wisconsin, on our development and revision of our IEP guidance. So in Wisconsin, our IEP guidance is called College and Career Ready IEPs, Improving Outcomes for Students 3 through 21. And we developed our guidance. We really wanted to focus on an IEP discussion in an IEP meeting that resulted in improved outcomes for students, that focusing on students' unique disability-related needs and ensuring that students are ready to graduate college and career ready and for living in the community. Our journey is all about alignment. When the Office of Special Education at the Department of Public Instruction asked states to focus on an improvement area as part of results-driven accountability, or RDA, in Wisconsin, we selected literacy and reading as an improvement outcome for our students with IEPs. In Wisconsin, our RDA effort is called Reading Drives Achievement, Success Through Literacy. In addition to our alignment of our IEP forms with our improvement strategy, we also wanted to align our guidance and forms with other initiatives happening in our department, namely our focus that every student graduate college and career ready, our state superintendent, Tony Evers' vision for all students in Wisconsin, as well as our strong focus on an equitable multi-level system of support and the resources we have put into supporting that work in Wisconsin, where equity is at the center of the key systems feature of an equitable multi-level systems of support, as well as our work in culturally responsive practices to support the unique needs of each student. When we think about what we want to accomplish with our IEP forms guidance, and when we were talking to stakeholders, we did acknowledge that when we solely focus on procedural compliance and how an IEP form was filled out, we didn't necessarily see the outcomes for students that we would have hoped. So as we revised our forms and our guidance around IEPs, we really wanted to promote discussions at IEP meetings that focus on student improved outcomes and outcomes around the reading and literacy. Our focus is also on what are the skills and supports needed for students to access, engage, and make progress in grade level standards, curriculum, and environment. So throughout the about 2 years as we were developing guidance on our forms, as well as our guidance on how to conduct IEP meetings, we engaged with multiple stakeholders. We worked with our Parent Training Information Center in Wisconsin and other family support agencies and organizations in Wisconsin. We worked with institutions of higher education, professional organizations that support educators. We held many focus group meetings with multiple stakeholders together at various points along the way to say, how are we doing? What are the areas that IEP teams need the most help with? What are the things that you think should be included in our guidance? And we've been constantly been in a loop of getting feedback, revising, supporting, and going out and through statewide conferences and getting additional ideas to refine our work here. When we were meeting with stakeholders, some themes started to emerge. As we started to see patterns on what people were saying, we identified 5 core beliefs about college and career ready IEP development. These beliefs include high expectations for each and every student, the importance of student relationships, culturally responsive practices, family and community engagement, and collective responsibility. As we were developing our guidance, we were really happy to see and encouraged by some of the guidance coming from the Department of Education. Some of you may remember a Dear Colleague letter that came out a while back. This is just a quick quote from the letter that states, ensuring that all children, including children with disabilities, are held to rigorous academic standards and high expectations is a shared responsibility for all of us. So that really supported our belief around collective responsibility. That letter also really supported the research and the concept of high expectations and the importance of alignment with grade level standards. So in addition to our CCRI-5 beliefs, we also knew that for educators and IEP teams, we needed a really clear and simple process of how to think about IEP development. And this became known as our CCRIP 5-step process. This 5-step process closely follows one of our sample IEP forms called our I-4 linking form. This linking form links together understanding students' achievement through present levels, the effects of disability and disability-related needs, IEP goal development, alignment of IEP services, and those analyzing progress, those measures for analyzing and reporting progress on IEP outcomes. So I don't have a lot of time to talk about all the steps, but I wanted to give you a little taste of each step and talk about some of the things that we incorporated at the department and through feedback from our stakeholders. And step 1, understanding achievement of grade level academic standards and functional expectations to identify strengths and needs. One of the things that we did is we aligned this step with some of the work happening in our department around development of grade band social and emotional competencies. So we encourage IEP teams to look at those social and emotional competencies throughout pre-kindergarten all the way through graduation, to think about what are the social emotional skills that students need to help them better access, engage, and make progress academically. This step also has a heavy focus on using current data, multiple data sources, objective data, and several other elements. In step 2, identifying how the student's disability affects academic achievement and functional performance. One of the things that we identified in terms of IEP discussions at an IEP team meeting is really encouraging a root cause analysis discussion of why is the student struggling with academic grade level standards or early childhood standards. Why is the student struggling with those early childhood or grade level functional expectations? So not just, what are we seeing with the student in terms of affective disability, but if we see a student is struggling with reading, why is that student struggling with reading? And drilling down, asking why multiple times so that we get at a root skill that if supported or taught will improve student outcomes in that area and overall help to close those achievement gaps that we may be seeing compared to grade level peers. In step 3, developing ambitious and achievable IEP goals. This step is really linking those IEP goals to disability-related needs and making a clear connection between those two. In addition, we really found that we needed to help educators focus on the importance and requirement to align baseline, level attainment, and procedures to monitor IEP progress. So we are finding in Wisconsin that that's an area that we actually need to do some additional support, and we're going to develop a dig deeper module specifically on the ongoing progress monitoring, in addition to that regular reporting and interim reporting. In step 4, aligning specially designed instruction services such as accommodations, related services, and other supplementary aids and services and supports for the student. This step is all about, again, alignment between those services, the IEP goals, and those IEP goals addressing disability-related needs. Again, linking those things together. We went so far in our IEP forms to actually have IEP teams number the disability-related needs that they identify for each student so that later on when they develop goals, each goal is supporting an identified numbered need and each service is linked to the goal, which is linked to the identified disability-related need. So again, kind of really pulling together that whole process to make sure that we're focusing on everything around student outcomes. Step 5 is all about analyzing progress. As I mentioned earlier, we're really going to do a dig deeper module around progress monitoring IEP goals because we know that the field needs additional guidance and support in that area and what that looks like. So I just want to thank you today. I want to thank everyone in Wisconsin, our discretionary grant partners, all of the staff at DPI, our stakeholders, our family support organizations for continuously providing us ideas, our special education directors, our teachers, on how we can better support our guidance as well as our forms that will really help improve student outcomes. And thank you for this opportunity to talk about Wisconsin's journey.